From the Detroit Free Press, it's Friday, November 29th. Here's what you need to know today. Presented by Bush's Fresh Food Market. Calling all foodies, Bush's is hiring. Are you passionate about food, looking for growth, development, and excellent wages? Come grow with Bush's and apply online at bush's.com/join our team. That's Bush's, BUSCHS.com/join our team.
I'm John Carlisle for the Detroit Free Press. This is part 2 of our series featuring stories about small-town life up north. Ishpeming VFW Post 4573 in the Upper Peninsula was struggling. Its older members were dying off, and they weren't being replaced by younger recruits. It was the same problem facing service clubs throughout the country, the Lions Club, the Rotary, the Elks, the Moose, organizations that were once important centers of community life in small towns all over America, but which have seen steep declines thanks to aging membership and disinterest among younger people. If things couldn't get turned around, the Ishpeming VFW would join a growing list of dead posts. But none of the post's members knew what would draw younger recruits, and the clock was ticking on finding a solution. Come back Monday to hear the final part of our series about the challenges facing rural Michigan, or check out the stories on freep.com.
This is Detroit Free Press auto critic Mark Phelan reporting. Ford's plan to stop building most of its cars will mean the end of the line for Lincoln's 2 sedans, the Continental and MKZ. Some industry observers say that's risky for the luxury brand. Sedans account for a bigger slice of luxury vehicle sales than they do mass-market brands like Ford. That's because luxury buyers are more likely to be getting a second or third vehicle, and because they put a higher priority on things like handling, acceleration, and styling. Lincoln could have trouble convincing car buyers to switch to the SUVs it's adding to its lineup. Production of the midsize MKZ is expected to end in 2020 or 2021. Ford's new contract with the United Auto Workers Union says there is no plan to replace the Continental when production of the big sedan ends.
This is Neeraj Wariku of the Detroit Free Press with some news about a fake university in Michigan that has stirred an immigration controversy. ICE has arrested about 90 more students who had enrolled at the University of Farmington in the Detroit suburb of Farmington Hills. A total of 250 students have been detained so far this year. The university was created by the Department of Homeland Security to lure foreign students interested in its work-study programs in computer and tech fields. The university didn't have on-site classes, but attracted more than 600 students. 7 of the 8 student recruiters charged in the case have pled guilty and were sentenced, including one last week in federal court in Detroit. About 80% of the students have been deported to India. For the full story, visit freep.com.
This is Michael Walker reporting for the Detroit Free Press. In the early 1900s, legendary automaker Henry Ford got into the tractor business, opening a plant in the Detroit suburb of Dearborn. But his 400 employees had nowhere close by to stay. To solve the housing issue, Ford founded Dearborn Realty and Construction in 1919, which created the Ford Homes Historic District. Each home had a unique style, created out of 6 different design models, ranging from A to F. The colonials had stylistic features like gable and hip roofs, rounded arches on the doorways, and triple sets of double-hung windows. Now, 100 years later, the neighborhood still has a big following. Ford Homes is celebrating the milestone by hosting a holiday home tour December 8th from 12 to 6 p.m. Guests will be able to visit 15 houses decked out in lights, Christmas trees, and decorations. Tickets are $20 in advance and $25 at the door.
This is Free Press Sports Editor Chris Thomas. The Detroit Lions are cooked. They're toast. What's left from here until they conclude the regular season against the Green Bay Packers? Well, it amounts to burnt ends. The Lions are a bad football team, and they lost to an equally bad football team on Thanksgiving when Mitchell Trubisky and the offensively challenged Chicago Bears stuffed the Lions for the second time this season. Final score, 24-20. If you're feeling sick, it's not because of food poisoning. It's because the Lions are 3-8-1, or because they have a Swiss cheese defense, or the fact that the Lions, your Lions, are one of only 3 teams in the NFL to have led in every single game this season. The others? Kansas City and San Francisco, two teams that will compete for a Super Bowl beginning in January. The Lions, of course, are not Super Bowl contenders. And if you're being honest with yourself, the only reason you tuned in to Thursday's game was out of tradition. A tradition born out of loyalty, family, and hope. And as traditions go, the Lions upheld their end of the bargain too. They got your hopes up with a stunning performance from third-string quarterback David Blau. Then they folded like cranberry sauce when it mattered most. Same old Lions, indeed.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. If you want to support our quality local journalism, subscribe. Go to freep.com/special offer. See you on Monday.